Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. All right, everyone, welcome back to another Friday night live stream here at Christ-Centered Ironworks. How have you all been? I sure as heck have missed you all. So, hope everyone's doing good out there and enjoying the fall. I know Jessica and I and the kids definitely are. We're enjoying this fall quite pleasantly this year. We have quite the colors around our local area, so we're really enjoying the fall and been having some fun in it. So in tonight's stream we are going to be doing some fun things. So we're going to kind of kick this whole thing off by go ahead and doing the giveaway up front here. So for all you early birds have showed up and faithfully dedicated your evening to us, we're going to go ahead and get the giveaways done right after the announcements here. We're going to get them done first and foremost, and we've got a lot of great items here provided to you by us here at Christ-Centered Ironworks and blacksmithingblanks.com. So some of those items will include, I have some maple leaf hook blank set, I have some oak hook blanks, I have a multi-pack of some snowflake ornaments, and then I also have a multi-pack of some bottle openers that we'll be giving away, some 1/4 inch thick bottle opener blanks. So that's some of the things we're giving away. And our tool this month that we will be giving away is a guillotine tool. So now the guillotine tool that we'll be giving away, I'll show it at the main cam here, Jess, is one of our special little guillotine tools that we've come out and recently released this year. This is the lever arm type of guillotine tool. You guys have seen it across socials. So you use this lever arm to lift and lower. We sell these as a kit over at our website, and we will be giving one of these away that's already welded up like this. In fact, this exact one. So this was a demonstration piece to show in a video of how you weld your kit up. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one away all fully welded together for you all this evening. So one lucky winner will get this thing shipped to them. All the information for the giveaways and stuff, all the details down in the description, so please read up on that. Without further ado with that, Jess, who all do we have this evening?
All right, looks like we have Speargrass, Rob Huff. He rejoined as a member.
Thank you, Rob. We've been waiting.
He said maybe Roy's busy scratching my name off the list.
Well, you've got one of them shorter names. It's pretty easy to rub out. So.
We also have Mr. Crawford here.
Mr. Crawford, howdy, howdy.
Possum Sausage, he was chasing off a stray dog roaming around their woods.
Well, he was coming there for your possum sausage.
Yeah. Trying to help out.
Welcome, welcome.
Janice Killian says, the other half here tonight, Jeff's hunting at the hunting cabin, so hi to you all.
Ah, well, hello, Janice. Good to see you. Thank you for filling in for Jeff.
Fly High Forge says hello from the last frontier.
Hello, Fly High.
John Muskie says cheers.
Cheers to you.
And we have Faye Ox says hello.
Awesome. Hello, Faye Ox. All right. Is that good?
And Dana Maggiore. Of course, we have lots of
Dana.
others.
Good to see you. So there's probably a lot more, right?
There is, yeah.
So, okay. Well, hello to everyone. So glad to have you. So tonight's little thing that we're going to be working on is here recently, Jessica and I, we've done some, little upgrades to our living room. Those of you that are channel members, we will be doing a channel member live stream this evening from about 9 p.m. to, well, whenever we decide to call it. So, that could it just depends on how good the conversation's going at that point in time. But you guys will see that a little bit later on. But so we gave ourselves permission to do a bit of remodeling inside the house this year, and part of that we went with a French Baroque inspired theme, which is always my favorite. And so we're replacing a lot of little details, and man, there's a lot of little details. If you ever want a bunch of inspiration on what you can make, look around your house and think, how would I make that in iron? Because yeah, there's a lot of little details, little fine finishing touches to work on. And one of those finishing touches is we need to take and change out our curtain rods because they don't no longer match our curtains. So I wanted to take and make some forged ones, and I was working on a fleur-de-lis finial for the ends of our curtain rod. So I'm going to show you that at the secondary cam real quick. Hopefully I can show that off well enough.
Yeah.
I don't know how zoomed in to be on this.
That's pretty good.
Does that look pretty good?
Yeah.
So you guys can see there. So that's kind of the finial we're going for. I changed up this little twist here, and I ended up just twisting the whole bar from this faux collar all the way across. And I decided I like that a little bit better. So that's what we're going to be aiming for this evening. This is just a piece of 3/8 inch square bar, or 10 mil square, for those of you across the pond. And I'm going to show you how to take and make a very quick and easy ornamental finial like that of a fleur-de-lis. So that's the plan for this evening. So I'm going to stick this in the fire, start getting it hot, and then we'll do some giveaway stuff. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Meanwhile, Q&A, anything else going on?
Dana's happy there's more than one person from Boston in the chat.
From Boston. I don't even have a Bostonian accent in my repertoire of accents to imitate.
No.
Couldn't do it if I tried.
Twisted Iron Project says, glad I was able to join, getting off work. It's been a while since I've been able to catch a live stream. Hope everyone is doing well.
Well, good to have you here. Glad you could catch it. And we are doing very well.
See, Karst Thompson says, very nice in regards to the finial.
Thank you.
Daniel Johnson says, that's awesome.
Awesome.
Jack says, a Michigan represent. Yeah, you're not the only one.
Got to represent. So, one thing I would like to take and say is on this finial that we're getting ready to make, you need very simple tools. And you can make this look as elaborate as you want just by carrying on a theme here from our previous live stream we did, just by adding some fuller marks, right? Adding some different shapes fullers, trying some different shadow lines and shaping it out different. It really elevates this from something pretty plain and simple up to something really super ornate. And that's completely up to you guys to kind of decide how to do that. But I do encourage you to experiment and play with shapes like this, because you never know what you might come up with that just tickles your fancy. So I really encourage you to explore shapes like that. All right, let's get on to the giveaway stuff, because I want to get them out and I don't want to be encumbered by them while I am teaching and demonstrating. So I'm going to bring these over here and we're going to do some rapid fire giveaway items. Sound good?
Sounds good.
And then towards middle or end, we'll give away that last, we'll give away the guillotine tool. Ha! That way we keep you around.
That's right.
That way we keep you around if you're interested in winning a guillotine, potentially. No guarantees, right? So, all right. So the first item I think we'll give away, Jess, is we're going to give away these bottle openers. So I'm going to go to camera number 2.
Yep.
We'll show those off.
Okie dokie.
These are 1/4 inch thick bottle openers. They're cut from 1/4 inch thick plate. And these are blanks. So really you could do as much or as little as you want. You can see the theme of that in a lot of the teaching that I have going on here. But these can be done just as is by just punching out a pull tab, basically forging out a tab. You can texture the ends, you can draw out the handles, you can cup them, you can chase them, you can chisel them, you can do all sorts of stuff. We also have these in a 10 gauge variety too as well, but these 1/4 inch ones are really nice and thick. So I hope whoever wins these will do some chasing work in them and send me some pics, because that would be awesome. I'd love to see some of that come to fruition. So that's the first item up for grabs. So we're gonna go ahead and ring-a-ding-ding the anvil.
All right.
And when we come to a halt, the way it works around here, when I'm done ring-a-ling-ling the anvil there, Jessica's gonna pick a name at random from the comments that are actively commenting right now. So join in the fun, if you will. And 3, 2, 1, go. Who do we have, Jess?
I have a Patrick Ledgergerber with opener blanks.
Patrick what?
Ledger Gerber.
Ledger Gerber.
Yes.
Ledger Gerber. I wish I could see the name. I probably could pronounce it.
It's literally looks like the word ledger and Gerber is what
Ledger
it looks like.
Burger. Ledger
Gerber.
Burger. Ledger Gerber.
Yes, there you go.
Yes, Patrick, you know who your last name is. Get with us through the contact email in the description. Oh, all right, that takes care of that one.
He says, yay for me.
Yay for you. Name we can't pronounce. We love you, Patrick. Oh.
Yep. Thank you guys. Yeah.
What's going on?
Congratulations. Yep.
Huh?
Everybody's congratulating him.
Congratulate him. Cool. All right, the next item up for grabs is a 4-pack of snowflake blanks. Let's go over to camera 2.
Yep.
So we've got some of your die-hard blanks here. We got that pretty little one there. So these are labeled, well, kind of semi in order. These aren't labeled right now. We got a snowflake 1, style 1, a snowflake style 2, which this one's kind of my favorite, although I hate cutting it. It takes forever. There's so much surface area to cut there. Then I think this is style 3, and that is style 4. So we got 4 different styles of snowflake blanks that are going to come together in a pack, like a little 4-piece pack here, that you can then start ornamenting or think about ornamenting your Christmas tree. Yes, that's right, folks. I said Christmas. It's right around the corner.
He's already started singing Christmas songs.
Ho, ho, ho.
And we've had a couple of good frost up here. So.
Yep, we've already had a couple really good killing frost up here. So.
And a slight snow flurry.
Yep.
Is what you're telling me the
That's
other day.
for sure. So, all right, the next item up for grab are those snowflake blanks.
Okay.
And 3, 2, 1, go. Who do we have, Jess?
We have Jackie Jacks with snowflake.
Jackie Jacks, you sir have won some snowflakes. I was about to say you sir are a snowflake, but I figured that was a little unkind. Jackie Jacks, you sir have won some snowflakes. Or
Indeed.
ma'am have won some snowflakes.
Yes.
Who knows, Jackie Jacks?
Jackie Jacks.
Try to make sure that piece isn't like, oh my God, hot in there. So.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, next item up for grabs. Camera 2.
Okay.
Boom. These are going to be the maple leaf hook blanks. As you see, we got these pretty little maple leaves.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And we are going to take and draw for those now.
Mm-hmm.
As you can tell, they have a maple leaf and they have a stem for a hook. So you put the two together and you have a maple leaf hook. I know, genius, right? Genius.
Or pot decoration.
Yeah.
Planter decoration. What do they call those things?
We have had some folks ask, what is it?
Yeah. Well, it could be whatever you want to make it into, I guess.
Whatever your mind can come up with. The possibilities are endless. So.
Napkin ring holder.
There you go.
Napkin holder.
There you go. So, all right, we ready? We're going to go ahead and draw for the maple leaves now.
Yes.
And 3, 2, 1, go. Who do we have?
We have Chuck Miller with maple leaves.
Chuck Miller. Congratulations, Chuck Miller. You are the winner of the maple hook blanks, maple leaf hook blanks. Get with us through the contact email down in the description. Last but not least of the hook blanks. Let's go, camera 2.
Already there.
There we are. There's some beautiful oak leaf hook blanks. Can you imagine that? You know why I'm doing them in sets of 3? Because they look really nice as a jacket rack, a coat rack.
They do.
So
They do
there we
look
go.
very
That's
nice.
why we're doing them in sets of 3. So there's a 3 set right there going to one lucky individual.
You might have to show that one more time. Where I had my picture is covering kind of the corner, so if you
Ah.
tilt it the other way, or I can move. There you go. Okay.
Like that.
Lovely.
There you go. Lovely.
Lovely.
All right, back to camera 1.
Okay.
All right, we ready? This is for the oak hook blanks. In 3, 2, 1, go. Who do we have?
We have Fly High Forge with oak.
Fly High Forge, congratulations. You got some oak leaf hooks. Get with us through that contact email in the description. Good to go. So, all right, cool. Well, congratulations to all the winners of those door prizes. A little later on in the stream, we'll go ahead and give away the guillotine tool at some point there. But my metal's hot, at least hot enough that I can go ahead and start forging the first part of this stage. Now I'm going to do the first stage of this process at the anvil with hand hammer, and that's because I got flat dies and my stuff set up for the chasing work in the treadle hammer. So I'm going to do the first part of fanning this out to make this very simple, fleur-de-lis right at the anvil. So we're going to do that. We're going to stay on the main cam for that one, so I don't have to move my secondary cam.
All right.
Pull this out. So all I'm looking for here is a nice flare to the end to give myself enough space to make what I'm after. What a nice fishtail. And I'm going to bring this up to the camera, or to the secondary cam here in a second, to show you what we're working with. All right, that's stage one. Let's go to secondary cam.
All right.
Can everybody see that okay?
Yes.
So that's stage one. That's what we're looking for. Stage two, I'm going to dress up the bits here that are really bulged out because I don't need those. I need this to be a nice smooth turn like that. And so that's what I'm going to work on in the next heat. Something keeps biting me in my... Oh, there you go. There's a woolly worm biting the heck out of the top of my hand.
Oh, a woolly worm?
Yeah.
Was it in your glove?
Yep.
Huh. These things have been all over the place in the yard today.
There you go. It's taking a little piece out of me. Camera one, Jess.
All right. Hello, Corey. Roy is working on a fleur-de-lis finial end for like what we're doing on curtain rods in our house. Fly High Forge says it's only 1:30 there. 4 hours behind us then.
Wow.
Is that like, what is that, like California area? David Henderson says, what the heck is a woolly worm?
A woolly worm?
Well, now you gotta look for it, huh?
Well, I see where it's at. I don't want to pick the little booger up. He's biting the heck out of me. You've never seen a woolly worm?
They look like a really fuzzy teddy bear, but
all right, I'll pick it up.
they're a caterpillar that's like black and brown.
Angry little beast of burden. Can they see that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really fuzzy little caterpillar.
Is a woolly worm.
Supposedly, the legend goes that the black represents how long and hard winter will be, and the brown represents if it'll be more mild. So, for example, that woolly worm, by the legend, would mean the beginning and end of winter will be very harsh, whereas there will be a long, mild middle section of the winter.
Yep.
But again, that's just a legend. There's like some years where the woolly worms are all different. They're not consistently the same thing, so.
All right, come to the anvil. I'm gonna dress this up. Doesn't take much to dress out the swell. I'm just matching the pitch or the angle of that taper with my hammer and trying to match it with the anvil as well. Dress that up, doctor up nicely. Now it's important you get it centered as much as you can. So let's go to camera two.
All right.
Now without woolly worm biting the heck out of me. You see how we took the bulge out of that?
Mm-hmm.
And dressed it into a nice even flare. All right. Mm-hmm. Put that back in the fire. I'll do the next steps.
Okay.
Actually, before I do that, I'm going to cool off the handle end of this. Just a fuzz. Because it's been sitting there getting some heat. I'll take some Q&A, babe.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Corey says it is 2:30 in California, so that means 1:30 is probably Alaska. Yeah, he's in Alaska.
Yep.
Neato.
Cool.
Let's see. Anybody have questions for Roy? See, C&J Forge said, I just assembled the C-frame guillotine tool that I won, and I made a set of butchers out of the die.
Oh, very awesome.
Hello, Wayne. Jack says, can you blame him for snuggling up in your comfy leather glove?
No, I can't blame him at all. What's funny is I can't even tell where he was biting me at, but it was like, he was biting pretty hard.
I've never known them to bite. I mean, the kids handle them a lot, but
No,
I've never
I
known
was
them to...
chewing, straight up chewing. So.
It's like,
I think I had him trapped in my glove, is what it
Oh.
was. So I had him trapped between my fingers, so he was trying to
get out.
bite to get out. Yeah. Poor little feller.
Jackie Jax says, how did you get started?
Oh man. Well, that's a long story. Let's see here. So I got started, I'll just say a long while ago. Oh, I'm not lying on the dates and times. I got started quite a long while ago when Jessica and I were first married. It was within our first year that we were married. So yeah, like 16 years, 17 years ago. Yeah, 17 years. So I got started when we were first married. It was in our first year. She took and we went out for a date night, and we went to Carriage Hill Metro Park. There's a place in Dayton, Ohio. It's like North Dayton, Ohio. It's called Carriage Hill Metro Park, and we went there, and they had a historical blacksmith, interpreter, and doing like a live interpretation of blacksmithing. And I stood there for like 3 or 4 hours talking to the dude on date night. And and that kind of started a bit of the obsession. And so a little later on that year, kind of into the summer, Jessica ended up finding me a forge at a garage sale for one heck of a deal. At that time, I was like, "You did what? How much money did you spend?" And but so she found me the forge, the actual very forge that's still in my shop and I still use on the regular. So for the last 17 years there. And so that's kind of how I got started in it. And it was just originally as a hobby. Started with no place for it. I had to drag it out of a shed we had and kind of work under a sprawling mulberry tree. Instead, that was my first forge or shop. And then I built a little pallet building shed that was a little 6x10. And then I moved up to a 12x20 building once it started becoming a business for me, and I started working hard as a business. And now I'm all the way up to a 40x50 building. So and that's what I'm in now in this barn. So that's kind of a short, abbreviated story of how I've gotten to where I'm at now. Oh, but it's been an interesting journey nonetheless, all the way there. All right, Jess. Let's go to the camera number 2.
All right.
Got this all nice and heated up. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come from each end of this flare. So one right here. So on to each corner where that flare meets the rounded part to the sharp part, I'm going to come in and I'm going to chase. I'm going to chisel cut a little notch in. Can they see that okay? Or I probably need to bring that in a lot, don't I?
I mean, it shows because it darkened out a bit.
It's kind of detailed work I'm doing. Let me set that back in the forge, and I'll bring that. I'll bring that up a little tighter.
Apple Ironworks, thank you for gifting 5 memberships.
Thank you, Apple Ironworks.
David Reednor, Tim Switzer, Steve Flores, Indie Girl 57, and Nathan McAlpine were all selected for that. So if any of you care to join us for tonight's member stream, feel free to do so.
Yes, thank you very much. That's about as far as I can get, babe.
Okay.
It's weird that that's the furthest that thing goes out, but I'm used to my other camera now so much that
Yeah.
it's hard to tell the difference. So.
Uh-huh.
So I'll do the layout and then we can show some more details if we need to. Can they see how that's looking?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Hopefully that's looking really good. Cool. All right, so the next step, after we've got it to that shape, we're gonna find the rough center of this and we're gonna cut that back. So we're gonna create another line that's intersecting with the first line, and it's gonna give us kind of a crown look or a W. I'm going to deepen these all up and then I'll show it off better. Can they see that okay?
Uh-huh. Yeah, Daniel says, yeah, it's visible on mobile devices.
Okay, good. Because I can't see it from here because it's like looking at a 2-inch screen. So, but there you go. So that's what we're looking at. And we're going to keep deepening those lines. So when we get this hot again, we're going to deepen this line up even more. And we're going to chip these things out, basically. We're going to cut that all the way down, and that's going to leave us the beginnings of that fleur-de-lis shape. I'll get her hot.
All right. Keith says, oh, hold on, move the message. He said, I went to a steel supplier near me and got a drop of hot rolled for more dies for my seat frame. $1.25 a pound for a 4-foot piece.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's a good deal.
Let's see. David Reednor says, I just had shoulder rotator cuff surgery, which apparently is common with several of our viewers tonight. Says, I am hoping to be able to get in the shop in a few more months, but what would be a good mild project to work on in strengthening?
A good mild project to work for strengthening. Up yourself. So I would personally avoid anything that requires you to take full hammer strokes with your arm, because that's going to really irritate your rotator cuff, right? That's going to naturally irritate that area because you're picking something up and you're, well, if you're swinging right, you should be rotating your arm as you come up. It should be this motion when you're getting a long full stroke or a long full hammer stroke. So you want to look for something more where you can just rabbit punch like this, using more of the elbow and less of the rotator cuff. So I would recommend anything that is, say, that doesn't require you working with larger than 3/8 inch round bar or square bar. So 3/8 and under. So good things for that. And you're not a robot, so you're not going to be just this. You're going to rotate a little bit as you go. It's like impossible. Like the swing is going to make you rotate a little bit as you go. So I would recommend things like S-hooks, fire pokers, meat skewers, small forge welds, hooks of any kind or description. Those can all be good things. If you want to do like really easy light work projects like the blanks, where you don't have to use a blank, but like how we did in the last live stream where we punched and chased we chased a bunch of detail into the hooks, right? Like into the various things I was making, like the door handles is what I was making. And we did a lot of chasing and foolering and like other stuff where it was still strike tooling, and we were able to add a lot of panache to it, but it wasn't a physically demanding thing, you know, like where you have to really draw out a heavy bar stock of any kind. So that would be my recommendation to get back in the swing of it. Generally speaking, anytime you're coming back from an injury in blacksmithing, stretching is a very big deal. So keeping your arms and your joints stretched out right, warming up good before you get into the forge is going to be very, very important for your recovery. So I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, but I've been injured a lot in my time in the shop. And thankfully nothing serious enough that would take me out of the industry, but I have had to like overcome personal challenges, and generally speaking, just not getting really tensed up. You got to loosen up, you got to get warmed up to it because it is a physical craft. So do some light stretching before you get going. And then the biggest thing I can recommend is quit. Quit before you think you need to quit for the day. Because you've heard people tell you not to overdo it. What that means is don't do it like you think you can, right? Like I've done that before where I think like, I'll be fine. I'm not feeling any pains right now. I'm good to go. Next day, I'm like, oh my God, I messed up something fierce. So you don't want to have setbacks like that. So keep it to something small that you can do. Scratch that itch of blacksmithing, but keep it to something small that you can do within, say, a 2-hour window and call that it, right? 30 minutes, an hour, build up like that. So you can get that stamina back and get those muscles back right as rain. That's my suggestion for that. Oh. Back to the hammer, Jess.
All right.
Oh, got one piece already gone. Sweet. The other piece gone. Hopefully that didn't land on anything important. Don't think it did. You guys see how those look? Mm-hmm. Now without those pieces in there. And now I'm going to keep cutting back. By getting my chisel set in my groove. And I'm trying to cut back from this diamond shape. And if you're worrying about this somehow damaging my dies, me chiseling straight into them, these are mild steel dies. So these are just what I like to, these are just, throwaway dies for me to do this kind of punching, chiseling, and cutting work on. So I'm not overly concerned with the surface. But you can see how that's starting to come out. Right like that. Pretty neat?
Yeah.
All right. So now all I got to do realistically is clean this up a little bit. So I need to clean that up a little bit. Usually I'd come in and take a bit of a filing to it after I beat these things open and go from there. But you guys can start seeing that little bit of that fleur-de-lis element there coming out, can't you? Mm-hmm. I'm going to enhance this back a little further with a butcher tool in the next heat. Back to main cam. What do we have, Jess?
All right. Speargrass asked if your beard is getting redder.
It might be. I don't know.
He does
May
have
just be getting redder.
he has some Scottish and Irish in him.
I got quite a bit, actually. That is most of my lineage right there. Well, I guess not completely true. A good portion of my lineage is German, so I got quite a bit of German in me, but it goes German, Scottish, then Irish, so got a little sprinkling of the Emerald Isle in there, but mostly the Scots and the Germans.
Josh Montgomery says, in regards to the health issues, don't do anything the doctor didn't clear you for. Although if you can use the Christ-centered Ironworks Air Assist hammer, you can get away with a lot, or a striker buddy.
Yep. Oh.
See here, Andrew Brenner says, did you go to Quad State this year? And Rob Huff said, we missed you guys at Quad State this year.
Yep, we missed you, Rob, too. And no, we did not go to Quad State this year. It was a little too busy for us to get away this year. We've had quite a bit of company and stuff over this past year, so it made it a little difficult for us to slip away. And it sounds like we missed a monsoon, so
yeah,
it was a good call. It was a bit of a good call, I think.
Fly High Forge says, thank you for being such an inspiration, Roy. You and the Forgecast have been massive inspiration.
Oh, you're very welcome. That's awesome to hear. Thank you for considering me an inspiration.
James Haas, no kilt yet.
Nope, no kilt yet. Oh. If I ever go to Scotland, which is on my bucket list of items to do, someday, if I get invited to wear a traditional kilt and garb, then I will wear a traditional Highlands kilt. But I don't get into the combat kilts of today's, or the combat miniskirts, as I like to call them, because that's what they look like to me, with all the interesting, pretty little pleats. So, all I see when I see a guy wearing a kilt is "Bring it on," or "Bring it on 2." Again, if anybody knows those movie references. All right, we can go back to the camera, babe.
Yep.
Camera 2, you're already there.
Yep.
Look at you. So I'm just using a single-sided butcher tool now. I'm going to extend these kind of cut lines up the piece. And now what these lines are, I'm not actually trying to cut, I'm just extending the look of that cut line up. To make it look like it originates at my faux collar. If that's clear as mud. Nice. Can we see what a difference that makes?
Yeah.
Now I might extend these up just a little bit more. Because I can. Where I plan on putting the collar in. So they're gonna kind of just fade in to where that collar is gonna be, that hypothetical collar. I do tickle myself pink sometimes. Everybody see how crazy good that looks? Come on, just imagine that on something, huh? Piece of ironwork somewhere. It just screams, I need to be in existence. Isn't that just neat? That's neat without even finishing it out. Like if that was just like a little finial at the top of like, say, a bunch of fence pickets or something, that's a slick little finial. Just like it is. Of course, we're gonna roll it up more into fleur-de-lis, but still, it's a sick little finial even looking like it is right now. Pretty neat.
Keith says, I irritated my elbow and developed golfer's elbow right before Savannah was born. Not having the time to spend at the forge for the last 2 months has helped. Got to the point where I couldn't touch my head.
Ooh, man, that's bad. Glad you could take a little bit of time off for it there, brother. And have an excuse to, too, as well. A darn good one at that.
Fly High Forge says, do you have any suggestions on forming copper saddle style spoons and how to clean up the hammer marks without melting it? Because he put one in the forge for 5 seconds and it melted in order to quench it.
Spoons?
Yeah.
Copper what?
Copper saddle style spoons.
Saddle style. Well, I'm not familiar with the saddle style of spoon that you're referencing. But on copper, I can tell you on copper, so chances are the reason why you melted the copper was because maybe your shop's too bright. So copper anneals from a very dull red temperature, so super dull red, and when it gets up to like an orange temperature, it's almost molten and about to turn into a puddle. So the temperature that you have to reach for copper to be annealed is very, very low. So you could do it in a campfire, a very cold campfire. You could heat copper up hot enough to anneal it. So if you're trying to take and anneal a copper spoon, it would be my suggestion that no matter what the thickness is irrelevant. What's the important portion is the temperature color that you are achieving on the copper. So you want to be in a very poorly lit shop, or if it's very bright, you need to put the spoon in, pull it out, and check it under the shade. So whether you have a shade to shield it from the lights, or under the forge, or a bucket, a steel bucket you can stick it in where it's dark inside the bucket. And if it's glowing red inside that bucket, that's when you can quench it and it will be annealed. So you do not have to get copper super smoking hot. And like I said, it'll go from the color of where it's just starting to get some red color. And in the forge, say in a gas forge or in a coal, it'll look dark. All of a sudden it'll look like it turns black. That's the red color I'm talking about. It's it goes in orange looking, then it goes to black, then it gets a little shiny and starts looking even shinier in like the color of the forge, and by the time it's already molten. So you pick it up and you're just looking at a skim on the surface that used to be your spoon or whatever other item you have. So that's my suggestion of it, is that you pay real close attention to your heat temperature there. All right, we're gonna go back to we're gonna stay at the anvil here, Jess.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and roll these little ears out a bit further. I'm just gonna use a small hammer. And we'll go over the edge of the anvil. I'm gonna just start rolling these out. And as I do that, that natural thin area that I've created that has a burr is gonna wanna start to split out all on its little lonesome there and tear away, which helps me out greatly. It allows me to peel these back and reveal my fleur-de-lis shape getting started there. So there's still some area in here that I don't like. I'm gonna have to file that up nicely. With chisel work, that's always part of it. You have to take your rags and your rough spots off. We'll look at that here in a second some more. Got some more forging I gotta do on it here. Let me show it over at the camera.
All right.
Can we see that?
Yes. Uh-huh.
As you can see, it's got quite a bit of heavy rag there, and that's always the case with chisel work. So you're going to have rag on these, so you do have to dress it off with a file. But well worth the look.
Possum Sausage says, would be neat to make cabinet handles like this with the fleur-de-lis on each end and run the grooves from one end to the other.
You said it would be neat too?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it would. It would be very neat.
Jack says, what type of steel are you making your chisels with?
So the steel that I've made my chisels with over there are like 5160. They're like a 5160 or a spring steel. And my chisels and punches of all types have all been made mainly out of spring steel, whether reclaimed spring steel or bought spring steel. So generally speaking, most of my punches and chisels have been that. I have been running a long-term experiment that has yet to conclude for the past longer. 7 years now. I have been running a long-term experiment, maybe even longer than that. I'm gonna have to go back and look, on H13 as struck tooling. So this is a chisel, a slitting chisel that I've made, set 6-7 years ago, I believe, if my dating is correct, and it's a long-term experiment. I'm gonna let you know my findings come year 10, and this thing gets used all the time, but this is an experiment to see how H13 holds up in an impact environment. Because a little while ago, there was quite a bit of information going on around line of not using H13 as struck tooling because it'll blow apart and kill your whole family and the neighbor's family and your favorite dog, and your wife will leave you, and your car will run away, and like the whole country song on it. And I'm not one to just take things at face value. I'm one for testing. So this is a long-term test of a chisel that I made a long time ago. So this is my only piece of H13 tool steel struck tooling I have here in the shop. But this is an exotic piece, and it's been heated, it's been cooled, it's been done all sorts of stuff too, and it basically still has the factory edge on it that I cut on it originally. It still has a very sharp edge that I put on it originally 7 years ago. So still giving it a test, The jury's still out, as it were. All right, we're still gonna stay at the main cam.
Okay.
All I'm doing here is I'm cleaning up the rag just a little bit on the pointy part of the fleur-de-lis there. Straightened up, bending these little hooky portions back. Now, one cool thing about that chisel cut leaves a natural outside bevel to these little bevel leaf scrolls that are coming off of it. So that's kind of nice that chisel cut already leaves that there. And I'll just like enhance those generally right along as I can. I'll do whatever I can to kind of enhance and planish and pull those out, make them look a little nicer. But yeah, that's not too bad. Problem with gas forges, and this is the biggest thing I dislike about them, is man, oh man, the amount of scale it develops if you're sitting around talking. I have a bad tendency to just develop scale, so I'll show this off now. I got some file work to do, obviously. You'll see that okay?
Uh-huh, yeah.
There we go. All right. And
Daniel Crawford asked if those are the same tongs and punches you had at the Good of the Land Fest.
Yes. Yep.
It's been 5 years ago.
More questions, babe?
All right. Let's see here. Athel Ironworks says at the NRBA conference about 6 weeks ago, part of the project we did was forging silica bronze. It was pretty cool stuff.
Oh yeah, it's real neat stuff. Very temperamental. Silica bronze is.
James Moody says, have you ever used bearing races?
Nope. Never had a call to. Most of my career as a blacksmith, I have stuck to, for most of my tooling and tooling endeavors and things like that, I have really kind of adhered to keeping it simple with simple steels and things like our forefathers had available to them. So that has been something that I have done kind of since moment one. I tend to kind of go along with that a little bit, is because in a shop without really complicated heat treating tooling, very expensive heat treatment ovens, which for those of you who don't know, have gotten a lot cheaper. Even heats and everything else have gotten a lot cheaper over time than what they were when I got started in smithing. And so unless you're running a toaster oven, which isn't the type of accurate heat you need for some of the more exotic alloys of steels, you're never going to know what you have, what type of temper you have in your material. You're just taking a guess at it, right? And the more exotic stuff will generally let you down if you didn't do something right. If you didn't do something right in your quench, you didn't do something right in the tempering process. Sometimes those tempering processes, if you actually follow the manual for those things, the recipes for those particular steels, and the right amount of thermal cycling and for how long, if you didn't do all these things just correctly, you're not getting the product that you're paying extra for. And so that being said, I've always had access to a good junkyard, or originally, or people who knew I was blacksmithing that come and brought me junk, coil springs and leaf springs and old punches and crowbars and stuff like that for absolute free to me, almost nothing, right? And so since that's how all of my work has kind of developed around that. So it's free and easy, and I just went with what I got, right? When I went to buying steel, buying high carbon tool steel, or carbon tool steel for stuff like making hammers or things for other people, I bought known 10 series steels, so 1045s, 1070, 1095, stuff like that. I kept in the 10 series, simple carbons. I went up to like 5160, right, or spring steel. Stuff I already had a good reckoning on how to create a useful tool in my own shop that I wasn't worried about, that I could then go and sell to somebody else, and make something for somebody else. So that's kind of where I've got my kind of idea around tooling from, is kind of using what I've had, what I've been given, and figuring that out. The more exotic alloys, things of that nature, I've strayed away from for a long time just because they're exotic, they're expensive, and I don't have any clue whether I actually hit the right marks or not. Now, in this shop now, and with my abilities and access to different types of tooling that I have, that this shop space provides, I can get into some more exotic stuff if I wanted to. But I tend to find that I don't need it. I've been doing this so long, kind of one way, I'm a little kind of stuck in that. I'm not saying that there's not better stuff to use. I'm just kind of stuck with what I know. I kind of, I'm comfortable. I know what I can do. I know how far I can push a particular tool steel or mild or wrought iron. I know how far I can push it, and that's my comfort zone. So I like to keep into that, and that way I can focus on the forging and not a bunch of fancy pants dancing around, you know, figuring out stuff. So this is too much of a spear point. I'm going to take my cross peen and my hammer here, and I'm going to spread this out to get more of that chisel shape, that fleur-de-lis shape. I'm going to flare out this end. So that's just by cross peening it out. And then I'm going to planish it up. It's where a smaller anvil that's set slightly higher is a better option. It's good to have extra tools if you can, set at different heights for different operations. Clean this up a little bit. Clean up my bevels. And as I say on this channel, good enough for YouTube. Now I'm not spending a ton of time this evening, I'll show it here.
Nice.
Big difference, huh?
Yeah, it does.
Flaring that out.
Uh-huh.
I just lost some more light. Makes a big difference, I think. So, all right, so now I got to take a chase in the collar, and get another light going. And let me brighten this thing up, by golly.
Nuke Fran says, what size Coke do you usually use?
What size what?
Coke.
Coke? The Coke that I'm currently running, it's supposed to be inch or under, or inch and a half or under, and it's roughly there. It's roughly about 3/4 inch to an inch in size. It runs a little big, so it's metallurgical grade Coke. I like smaller stuff, more like fines, but they're hard to get a hold of.
Jack says, I did my first chasing and repoussé project in copper. It's nice to be able to do metal work without requiring a whole gas forge, so I can just chill down in my basement and hammer away.
Very awesome. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Some people would say it's not real smithing and blacksmithing, and I like to say that it's an elevation to blacksmithing. So it's elevating the craft. You know, it's kind of like that. You know, you build a sandwich, right? And then what do you put on top? The good stuff. And you make a nice sandwich, right? Otherwise, you kind of just got a dry sandwich that nobody wants to eat. So, blacksmithing is a very layered craft. Lots of, there's lots of routes you can take blacksmithing. The specifics of something being blacksmithed or something being forged, those are, you know, there's nuances there, right? Some people, blacksmithing work is just the forging element, just forging stuff. And the things that I'm doing right now, all the chasing, all the bending of things, hot, even if it's hot, cold, doesn't matter, it's not real blacksmithing work because there's no change of form, right? There's no change of volume or cross-sectional thickness, and so therefore it don't count. And what I say to those people, phooey. That's what I say. So, but it's fun to elevate your ironwork, and this is a very needed portion of the craft of blacksmithing, is being able to elevate your ironwork to that next little step beyond simple basic hammer textures and, you know, lumpy items that you can produce off of a power hammer. So there we are. Does that look cool?
Yeah. It does. That looks nice.
Now, obviously, as a finished product, this is not it. I need to get a file in there, a half-round file, and clean up the interiors a lot better. A small half round file would get that cleaned up, cleared up nicely. Maybe another round of chasing for the center filler area, light and cold to clean and planish that surface up a little better. And then, you know, that element right there would be mostly done. Now we're gonna go ahead and put in this faux collar now at the top of that bar. As you can see, I've changed some stuff around. I'm not going with this style. This is a lot longer and more impressive. So this was originally a sample that I forged in 8 minutes just to see how it might come along. And I just wanted to get the general concept on the end of a bar. So I wasn't spending a ton of time making it. And I liked some things I did. I didn't like others. So I went ahead and changed up my methods to get a better result. And this is a much better result. It's shaping up, makes it look a lot nicer in my opinion. So the next step of this journey is I'm going to put a faux collar in this. And how I'm going to do that is with this little swedged tool. Hopefully they can see that really well. This is like a butcher tool, a butcher on one side, a butcher on the other, with a fuller right down the center between the two of them. I made this by forging basically a swedge, not a fuller, excuse me, a swedge right between the center of them. So I made this by forging down a piece like I would a chisel or a butcher or anything else. And then I went ahead and ground and fullered out the center to create a swedge. Once that was done, I then finally ground the bevels to match what I basically have in my butcher tools. So I ground the final bevels on each side to look like my butcher tool here. And now what this does is this gives me the unique opportunity of creating a bead right in the center of this bar stock here, or right on this bar stock. Now I could take what I've done here, much to Keith's point earlier, Possum Sausage's point. Now that these bevels have been established up to this point, I could actually come along and chase this straight down the center of the bar and add a bead for the full length of the bar if I wanted to. In this case, I want to create a faux collar. A faux collar is something that's a fake collar. It's not an actual collar. We're just going to beat that sideways like this, and we're going to chase that down in, chase it on the left, chase it on the right, and when you look at it from the front, it'll look like this piece has been collared in some way or fashion. It'll make this step out from the main body of the piece, and that's what we're going to be after. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that back in the forge and get her warmed up, and then come out and do the collar work.
All right. Melissa Wilson, we don't know necessarily of a Coke supplier in Mid-Texas, but we just purchased ours from Mid-Continental Coal
Coke Company.
Yeah, Coke Company, which they ship it by the half ton or the ton.
Yep.
So, and a giant, what do they call that, big sack? Basically,
yeah, and a super sack basically. So it's a big plastic sack with like crane handles on it so they can lift it or lower it. So it comes palletized in one of those super sacks. So, yep.
That's been one of the less expensive sources we've been able to get it from.
Yep.
As far as having it delivered to you.
Yeah, and I got that information from Jamie Geyer, so from Goshen, Ohio. So he runs the Southern Ohio or Goshen School of Blacksmithing down there. In Goshen, just north of Cincy.
Keith says, Roy, regarding the conversation we had a while ago, have you messed with titanium or titanium tools?
I have not. I've not messed with titanium or titanium tools, no. Well, I have messed with titanium. I forged a tomahawk out of titanium. It was the worst tomahawk that's probably ever been made on the face of this earth. Everything fine, everything about its shape was good, everything about its profile, it was a tomahawk, but I made it from titanium, and that thing wouldn't stick into anything. There was just not enough mass. The wooden handle was heavier, the tomahawk handle was heavier than the head of the tomahawk, and so therefore I could never get that thing to stick, you know, when thrown. And So it was a neat little thing. I was given a piece, and so I messed with it, you know, made a tomahawk out of it. It never held an edge great, ever, or anything like that. And I'm like, okay, a neat curiosity piece. I won't be messing with it again. So again, it's one of those exotic things that sounds good at first, but for me, it just didn't work out for my particular way of doing stuff. So, all right, back to the treadle hammer.
All right. Rob, I believe they delivered the Coke with a semi.
Yep, they sure did. All right, now I'm gonna come across right at the top of where these curves go. Put down some lines. And we'll just go deep enough that it rounds out. There we go. I'm starting to get that shape I'm after. One more to the front. Nice. And there's your little faux collar.
Very good.
Can we see that okay?
Yeah. Very nice.
So pretty simple, huh?
Sure.
Simple and easy, clear as mud. Good to me, I think. For now. Well, it's as good as it's going to be. So we'll go back to camera 2 real quick.
Okay.
So show it off one more time. That's all cleaned up. There you have her. Simple, elegant, beautiful. Can't ask for better than that. All right, set that off to the side.
Question from Wayne. You got a moment for it?
Yep, give me a second. I want to shut this down.
Okay.
Oh. All right, I'm ready for a question.
All right. Wayne says, Roy, what is going to be the best steel for the treadle hammer dies? I have been using mild steel. With light work, it holds up, but I would like to find something better.
I'm going to say the best, so obviously, Wayne, it's going to depend on what type of work you're trying to do, right? But generally speaking, I would think that like a 1045 die would be a great thing to use. It'll be way tougher than mild steel. Should hold up to most use case scenarios for the treadle hammer, right? Because the treadle hammer itself is a steel, it is a mild steel hammer, right, itself. So like all of its components are mild steel. So it's going to have a cycle, you know, it's going to last a really long time. The dies itself, you know, you're just looking for something harder to hold edges better or hold shapes. I would not go too crazy. 1045 is pretty cheap and inexpensive. So I guess that's the way I would recommend. It's pretty easy to weld on. You can weld it. Pretty simple. Like there's a lot of power hammer dies I've made out of 1045. Now what they don't hold up well to is, so like the power hammer dies I've made out of 1045, they do tend to develop a sweet spot after a lot of use, and I do mean a lot of use. So they will develop a sweet spot in them. But I recommend them because you don't have as many dangers as, like I said, with not nailing your heat treatment just right. So if you're comfortable with that. So that would be my recommendation, 1045. You could go as high as maybe like a 1075 or something like that. But there would be my recommendations. A lot of people say 4140s, or you could do 5160, but I think all that's just a little more exotic than what you need. Now let's say if you were making some fullers, right? Some pretty little fullering dies where you need to weld a bar, and you're coming together and it's like two fullers coming together and you're needing that edge like on a guillotine tool, then I would say like something like some coil spring would do admirably for that. Another thing you could do if you're just making a couple flat dies, you could get a bit of leaf spring, cut a chunk of leaf spring off and use a bit of leaf spring in that case, and that will be plenty tough for any type of work that you may be getting into.
Good.
Yep, that's my answers to that.
All right. James Haas asked a little earlier, do you plan to forge weld the middle to the ends for the rod? I didn't quite understand.
Oh, for the curtain rods. No, this is forged right on the bar. So this will be forged at either end. In fact, I just did the longest one yesterday to see how I liked it. So we have a very long picture window at the front of our house. The thing's, I think it's 86 and a quarter inches long is what the bar was in total. So I had some shop helpers, some blacksmith shop helpers stands out here in the shop feeding the forge over there. And then I had some set up out further away from the anvil holding the end of it while I was forging on the end at the anvil and doing this same similar work. But the glory and the benefit of doing these on the ends of stuff, the finials on the end of this bar, is you don't have to worry about a complicated forge weld for it. That's number one. Number two, the shape and style and size of this doesn't have to come off in order for the curtain to slip over. So the way I've styled this, when the hook, the outside, the curls on the outside, those little scrolls come off, they tuck back sufficiently where they don't snag on any fabric for the ones for our house. So yeah, so that's my saying on that. So you could just do it right on the end of the bar. And the other great thing is if you screw it up, you can always just cut it off, turn that bar into a hook bar as your practice bar, and then start all over again. You could always end up forge welding onto a much larger rod if you needed to, but there's no need in this case. That's kind of the glory and the benefit of doing it this way. So.
Eli at Bar Run Forge says, howdy everyone. Shop is a work in progress, just trying to keep it dry.
Howdy, howdy, Eli. Be praying for you and Troy, that you guys take and get your shop put back together and everything stays nice and dry for you for a while. A dry fall.
Wayne says, thank you, Roy. My work is light. I will try 1045.
You're welcome, Wayne.
James Moody said, about those copper circles, is 2-inch diameter and approximately 3/16 thick doable? Yeah, I think ours are 2 1/4 and like
scoops?
2.5 for scoops. Yeah, but
yeah, our scoops are 2.5 and they are 10 gauge. Mm-hmm. So, which is just a touch over 1/8 of an inch thick. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Eli says, thank you, sir.
Very welcome. All right. So, what time are we at?
We are at 6:30 on the dot.
Wow, man. Mm-hmm. I did really well. Mm-hmm. And we saved the best for last. We have one last giveaway item to give away, huh?
That's right.
Sitting over there. So we'll be doing that here shortly.
Okay. Yeah, we still got 52 members sticking around. So.
Hey, awesome, awesome. So I want to reiterate later this evening, about 9 p.m., we will be inside our house, set up much like we're doing this, and for a member stream, for a members live. So if you're not part of the membership here at Christ Center Ironworks, that's a great way for you guys to interact with us, and it's more on a low-key situation where we're just a bunch of friends hanging out, talking and chatting right there in our living room. So sometimes we'll have it well, we did one special where we did it in Jessica's studio space. And, so that was fun. We did that and went live from there. And usually it's from the inside our house because it's later, we've put the kids to bed and, we're busy, hanging out and chilling with you all for the rest of the evening. And so it's a pretty good time. It allows us to lay back, relax, and just, talk about things, things that are on my mind, things that are on your minds, and it works out pretty good. So I encourage you, if you are not a member yet, you can hit that membership button. If you're not, that's cool too. We still do occasional live streams where we do them like you see here, where we do a lot of Q&As. So speaking of which, and speaking of that, some news. We're going to do some news on the home front of some upcoming things that you can expect, especially if this is your first time here and, first time joining us in a live stream, or maybe it's been a while since you've been back with us. So in the upcoming live streams, we have two. We have two live streams, which is crazy. The year's gone by that fast already, but we only have two remaining live streams this year. One of them will be our November live stream that we'll be doing, and we'll be announcing at that live stream most likely all of the great prizes and things we have planned for the great Blacksmith Christmas giveaway live stream. So we will be announcing some great items that we'll be getting together and having hauled in and ready for that great big Christmas extravaganza that we like to do around here. And so I'm super excited about Christmas, happy to do all that. There'll be some changes in the new year to the live stream structure that we will be undertaking, and we might get into that and a bit more here in just a minute. But one of the other things I'd like to share is I have been working. I know it's been a little bit of radio silence on the YouTube channel here of late, but there are some videos in the tank. I just need to have time to sit down and edit them. so that's the big one. I've just, for one reason or another, I've kept getting pulled away from doing stuff that I like to do and want to do. So, that's such is life, right? That's the season of life right now that we're in. But yeah, so we're going to, I've got a lot of great videos. One of those will be a detailed explanation of making the curtain rod project here, like what we did this evening. So there'll be some more work if you need a refresher course on how to make that little finial. So there'll be a video on that. There's going to be some videos on some wall crosses I've made recently. There's going to be some videos on some forged blacksmith dice. There's going to be several other videos in series coming on all sorts of topics. So I've got quite a few written out on my table over there that I want to get to, and I've been chomping at the bit. And so I'm looking like I'm starting to get some clear weather ahead in the schedule a bit, hopefully. I won't say that too loud, just just in case. But there should be a ton of great content coming through the rest of the year and into the new year. So my hopeful goal is by November to start really start pumping some content that you guys will actually see. That content will be coming out hopefully towards the tail end of this month and into the start of November. So be on the lookout for that.
Which, by the way, if you find that YouTube is not notifying you when our videos come out and whatnot, if you are part of our newsletter, which comes out twice a month, I do recap all of our recent videos there. So you can check out the link for that in the description if you would like to sign up for the newsletter. And like I said, we do it twice a month, so we're not like berating you with emails or anything crazy like that. I don't have time to write up one like every day or anything. So, but we do some discounts also that you'll see sometimes, and news and behind the scenes and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, yeah. And also on that news, so one thing we did to take and clear up for clarity, we've reached a point in the CNC side of things and the blacksmithingblanks.com side of things. We have reached a point where we offer so many items that it got confusing to have quantities of 10. So we still do offer discounts for bulk orders. You just have to get with us and find out, get with us with what you're thinking as far as quantities, and then we can come up with a discount or something like that for you for a bulk order. Reason for getting rid of the quantities of 10 is like I previously stated. So we have almost all of our blanks are available in not only 10 gauge options, but so you can already imagine, right? 10 gauge times 10 blanks. You know, that's a lot to remember when you're looking at a sheet with a whole bunch of, maybe with a bunch of orders on there. But we have 10 gauge and 16 gauge options for most of our blanks. And then we have that also in copper and in stainless steel. So we offer most of our blanks in copper. So we offer them mild steel, copper, and stainless steel in those measurements, in 10 gauge and 16 gauge respectively. So whenever we were getting a quantity of 10, sometimes the way that it read out in our brain, our fickle little brains here when we were putting together the orders, is that, you know, sometimes we were shipping out 1 and somebody was supposed to get 10, and we had to reship 10 of them, and at other times we shipped 20 and the person was only supposed to get 2 of an item.
It was a numerical nightmare.
Yeah, it was a numerical nightmare. I can't tell you how it looks on our end and what that numerical nightmare is like, but so that's why you have seen quantities of just 1. So you just select whatever it is you're looking to get and then enter the quantity, just like anywhere else on the globe that you would go to. And so we try to tidy up and clean up the website as we go forward. And in the new year, there will probably be a little move to a new website platform, so to a new e-commerce platform that we will be undertaking. So bear with us. We will get it all nice and clean and tidy, and we want to make that the best shopping experience we can for anybody who is purchasing blanks from us. But if you were buying bulk from us in the past and you're like, oh, they got rid of the, you know, quantity of 10 option. We just got rid of it for our own sanity's sake. You can still order as many as you like and just come get with us before you check out, and we can assist you further. But we're trying to make sure we're clear on that before the holiday season comes up and Christmas gets here, and oh, the nightmare that would be with the numerical issues. So, but yeah, we have so many items now available on the website. So
all above 300.
A little, yeah, 300, above 300. Yep. So yeah. Quite a bit, quite a few.
Yes. For those of you who haven't checked out our store since like maybe last Christmas, there's a bunch more stuff. Like we just added some new animals and some candle holder. What are those? Tea light mason jar candle holders, stuff like that. So there's a bunch of new stuff. Yep. There's been a bunch of stuff up there lately. So, but yeah. So back to the subject of live streams, and then we're gonna, we'll give away this item real quick while I got everybody's attention. So, or I might have lost most people anyhow. Other news coming up in the new year. So I don't want anybody to catch, be caught off guard or anything else. But in the new year, I will be not continuing the monthly giveaway live stream. So we will be doing a forging live stream that is solely focused on education and forging. So just doing something that I'm interested in. We might get in next year where we do some multi-stream projects, and every stream is a different portion of that project that you can follow along with at home. That's kind of my goal for next year, is to do that. So I'm going to move away from a monthly giveaway live stream. We've been doing those now for 8 years, like eight solid years. So I think we've been on YouTube 9 now, and yeah. So, and I've been doing these all the way since the infancy of the channel. So at one time we were doing them weekly. We're doing a weekly giveaway live, and I've slowed it down and slowly got to the point where we did one a month, and we've done that for quite a few years now, at least 5 or 6 years anyhow, at once a month. And now we're going to go ahead and just give that a break for next year, and we'll see about 2026 if we get into doing them again. But I want to save up and make that note because of the Great Blacksmith Christmas Giveaway live stream. We've done so many of those over the years. Those are going to continue. So my plan is I will be saving up throughout the year. I will be saving up for the Great Blacksmith Christmas Giveaway live stream
at the end of the year in a big blowout bash. And my hopeful goal with that is, if I don't spend so much money on the smaller little giveaways throughout the year, I'll be able to give away some really choice, awesome tooling and prizes once a year at the big giveaway live stream, you know, and really turn that into the fun special thing that we all know and love here on the channel. And so I'm hoping to be able to do that, and then keep the content going forward. Doing our monthly live stream, instead of it being a giveaway, we'll just be focusing on purely blacksmithing endeavors and learning. So hopefully everybody likes that idea. I don't know what the feel is there from the comment section, but hopefully
nothing specific to that yet.
No, nothing specific to that. So maybe we lagged, maybe I went off.
No, I think you're fine. Athel Ironworks says put him down for a few hammers for the giveaway, so he's going to send us some hammers. Okay, very awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So, if you are hoping to donate to the Great Blacksmith Christmas Giveaway live stream, the best way to do that is start sending them the 1st of November. Start getting your stuff to us as early as possible. That way we can start making mentions of the items that you send early enough as possible. It helps not only garner a lot of views and attraction and attention for us, for people to come in and see what we're all about and what we're doing and the outreach that we're doing. Not only does it help with that, but it also it helps us be able to have our ducks in a line and in a row heading into the actual giveaway live stream. So we had a couple late arrivers last year, like spur of the moment, last minute, and we weren't able to give those as much credit as maybe they should have been due, just from the simple fact that it was like, oh, you're doing that, yeah. And it was like, okay, we'll ship it out. And it's like 2 days later. It literally arrived like the day of the giveaway live. So, if you want to be part of that, you know, we encourage you to get your stuff out as early as possible. It really helps us out and allows us to give, you know, proper credit where credit's due when you guys do that. So there you go. Daniel Reednor says, I think this is more about the lessons, less about the free stuff. Now everyone likes free stuff, but that isn't the point of the channel, really. Yep, true. So the point of the giveaway lives for me, and they have been for the last, you know, umpteen years now, for bunches and bunches of years here on YouTube. The whole point for me is I'm a giving person. I like giving back to the community. I love giving. I like hearing stories of somebody watching, you know, maybe somebody who would have never clicked on the channel to begin with. They click on the channel, they see we're doing the giveaway, it draws them in, they get hooked, and all of a sudden they're stuck here. You know, they're stuck here, and somehow their life has been changed for the better by everything that we're doing, you know, being that little bright light or that bright spark, right? And so I really do enjoy doing that, and we've received so many good emails over the years and things like that. So, you know, love doing them, but they have kind of dwindled off a little bit. They've kind of just, the monthly giveaway lives have kind of gotten a little less zestful, and I want to bring that zest of life back to them. You know, it's become a little bit like, you know, if you eat a candy bar or Snickers, man, it tastes real good at first, but you won't want to eat 10,000 of them, right? So no.
that'll give you a bellyache. And so I feel like it's dwindled there a little bit. So I'd rather people be super excited about the giveaway live once a year with the Great Blacksmith Christmas giveaway live stream that we do here than for everybody to be meh about all the live streams throughout the year, because like, well, I don't win anything in this one, or, you know, if I don't attend, it's no big deal. He'll just have another one next week, or, you know, or next tomorrow, or however. So I don't want it to be pshaw like that, because that's not the intention. The intention is to encourage and inspire other smiths in this craft to get out there and make something cool. So that's been my whole hope and goal for, well, bang on 7 years at least. So
David Henderson says, I'll send a sticker pack for the Christmas giveaway for sure. Maybe some other stuff if I can think of anything good.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Rob Huff says, I click on the stream and I win an 88-pound power hammer. That'll add some zest. That would have had a lot of zest, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I think I'll just lie. I think I'll lie this year. I think I'm just going to like invoke like some poor company's name and just be like, yeah, such and such company is going to be giving away a hammer at my live stream.
Or like just a 3D printed model
Yeah,
miniature.
a
of
little
the
miniature
item.
with no context. They're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, seriously? They're doing that? And then it'll get back to them and they'll be like, what the heck? Force their hand. Talking at you, Eng Yang.
Keith, yes, I still have some stickers, of our own that we can do for the Christmas giveaway, our like logoed stickers and things like that.
Yep. Oh.
David Henderson on the Christmas sweater ornament contest. We haven't talked about that yet, so we will have to talk about that. And if we do that, the word will be out in November.
In November, at November's live stream. Yep. At the November live stream, we will have a lot more things nailed down about the Great Blacksmith Christmas giveaway live stream and some of the stuff that we're doing. So. And here towards the tail end of this month. One of the other things that we do is we do charitable contributions. We do a lot of giving. We do like a crowd kind of funded giving just through, our own business, personal business. Like usually we do a discount code where you get so much off your purchase, and we give the other portion of that percentage off
to a nonprofit.
Right? Like a likewise to a profit or in need, things that are in need, and we donate that way. So we do that throughout the whole month of November, all the way up until December as well. And we, as a blacksmithing community, have been able to donate literally thousands upon thousands of dollars. So, to some really good causes like Ronald McDonald House and St. Jude. Children's Hospital. So we've been able to do a lot of good stuff like that as a community. And so we like to do that around this upcoming time of the year.
Yep. Keith says, I would love to see streams of bigger projects that have chisel work, scrolls, forge welding, maybe stretch a gate project out and forge elements each month. Yeah,
that would be kind of cool. Big projects, that would be hard. I think that'd be hard to do a good accounting of a live stream on. So unless you're doing it like once a week, that would be difficult.
It could be a really long, it would be like a 10-year project.
Yeah, it might be a 10-year project. So it might be like that one project where it took like a whole year, still didn't have it done. Then it sat for 4 years before I finished it. Off screen, so AKA that filer's vice I made, yeah.
Daniel Johnson, are you going to show us how to make a knife finally?
Nope, not a chance, so. Well, I've already did that, quote unquote. People have said I've already done that in a live stream at one point in time, yeah.
Oh, but is evidence really there?
Is it really there? Is that live stream still up? We shall never know. Make people have to hunt the archives of the live streams.
Keith says, can I donate 9 yards of wool for a kilt for Roy to wear for the blacksmith stream?
Hey, as long as you donate that cash we were talking about earlier to go along with it. So, but warning, my prices are going up these days. They're going to go up and up
with
for
inflation.
That. Well, the older and the fatter I get, the higher I crank that price up before I show myself in a kilt. Oh man. Let's give this guillotine tool away, shall we?
All right.
Bam. Just like that. Beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. It's already pre-welded. Come to you like it is, and it's all up to you to do the rest. Drill and set your pinhole, basically. Yeah.
And if you don't win this one, and if you do want to pick one up, we have kits and welded options available at blacksmithingblanks.com.
Yep. Certainly do. But yeah, so anyways, it's been a great stream. I think this is a great way to end it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
So again, we're not going anywhere. Just want to let people know that before I give this away. We're not going anywhere. We're going to still be doing the same old, like what we've always done. And hopefully just elevate it up and still make it a great thing. Like I said, in the new year, the new strategy will be just doing dispensing of the monthly giveaway lives, doing one time a year really great live stream, and a once a year really great giveaway live, and we're just going to focus on doing projects in the upcoming new year. So that's personally is going to be very great for me because I love forging, and so I'm loving to get to the time of teaching and doing some really interesting, cool stuff. So we will be definitely taking on some projects where we're going to be doing some forge welding and some really neat things. So be on the lookout for that. And without further ado, let's close this thing down so this way we can get on and be ready for our next members live at 9 p.m. this evening. Okay, let's give this away. In 3, 2, 1, go. Who do we have, Jess?
We landed on Melissa Wilson with guillotine.
Hey, Melissa Wilson. Congratulations. You are the winner of this lever arm single bay guillotine tool from us here at Christ Center Ironworks. Yay. Thank you for being here. So everybody give Melissa Wilson a round of applause. So, and just like that, another tool, another good tool given away. Can't ask for better than that. So.
That's right.
All right. So, keep your eye out on the interwebs. Keep your eye out for the newsletter if you're not signed up for that. That should have some information in it about the next live stream that we're going to be doing in November. So, for our next giveaway live.
Graham Pepper, good to see you.
Yep. Hey, Graham Pepper, it's been a long while, buddy.
Oh, he said it's been a long time, but his health is horrid, but he's alive.
So sorry to hear that, buddy. Well, I'm glad you're alive. Glad you're here. So, glad you're here. So, so anyways, next month's live stream will be another giveaway live, and then we go on to the big one, which is a great big Blacksmith Christmas giveaway live stream, and I'm really looking forward to that. So.
Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, exactly, 10 times fast. So
he's already talking about decorating.
Yeah, I've already, like literally yesterday in the shop, I was thinking, I was listening to a podcast while I was forging, and I'm like, I'm kind of feeling some holiday music. I think I could go for some Christmas music right about now. Yeah, seems about right. So, it's coming. Christmas is coming, and I'm going to enjoy every minute of it.
It is.
So, looking forward to it. So, all right, without further ado, like I said, we'll see all you members at the Members Live here at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jessica's going to lead us out in a poem, like she likes to do. And look forward to seeing you all there and seeing you all, the rest of you, at the next giveaway live. So take care, everybody. God bless, and have a great week. Bye.
Bill, I think our single bay guillotine tool is $100, and the double bay guillotine tool kit is $140, if I'm not mistaken. And then you can have it welded up for a bit more.
Yep.
All right, I am.
We'll see y'all.
A poem.
Go ahead, Jess.
Under the Chestnut Tree by Adam Fleewell Smith, our very own Speargrass Forge, who wrote this. And on page 25, I'm going to read "Keep a Hammerin'." There was a chap down Bingville way who run a shop small, they say, no bigger than your hat. He was a most peculiar cuss and seemed to leave the talk and fuss to me and Sam and Matt. He'd hammer early, hammer late, and make a bolt or iron gate. And if you asked him what he did, he'd smile and say and touch his lid, I keep a hammerin'. There are some smiths, you must admit, that seldom work, they'd rather sit around the stove and chat. But this here chap I tell about, when he'd no work, was on the scout for more. Just think of that. His work was good, his price was too. He'd fix up things to look like new. And when he'd built the shed behind, he smile, a funny kind, and kept a hammerin'. And gradual like he added on, to that old shop till why doggone, he had a place as big as any shop in this here state, or in the county at any rate. And then he bought a rig. He never used it, I could see, except on Sundays, and then by gee, he'd drive to church and Sunday school, and all he'd say, like some old fool, keep a hammerin'. Then shortly after last year's crop, he built the finest kind of shop that ever was built, I bet. 'Twas made of this here new concrete. It looks like stone and is hard to beat. The shop was of the finest yet. And then one day I says to him, "Where did you get your money, Jim?" He just smiled and scratched his head and smiled some more, and then he said, "I keep a hammerin'." Jed Thurber says, and he can tell, that there's a moral, best heed it well, in this here bit of rhyme. When you're trying hard, and it seems that nature's dead against your scheme, and bust them every time, think of this funny old cuss. It ain't bad much, and might be worse, and then take off your coat and say, in any old kind of smiling way, "I'll keep a hammerin'." Keep a hammerin' when the day is blue, and when the day is bright. Keep a hammerin' in the mornin' dew, and in the dead of night. Don't you ever hesitate, nor for someone else await. You just keep a hammerin' hard, till you've won success, old pard. Just keep on hammerin'. Take care and have a good evening.